Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. Last episode we finally got going our, well, the bulk of the satellite facility, but mainly so that it produces satellites for our solar build so that that can speed up. And it's actually sitting here trying to unload at the moment. In fact, there's 12,000 solar panels actually sitting on board this train, and I haven't let it leave until it's finished unloading, so it could be that it sits there for a little while. It probably actually lets us turn off the build that we have here at this point, and we can probably change the function of this train, but that's one thing. The other point as to where we're at is if we have a look at the module build, it's now actually cooking modules at a pretty decent rate. There's 2,400 productivity modules there, and a total of or 2,400 there, 2,400 there, and 3 more sets here. We've basically completely caught up on modules as well, so as long as the power keeps building at a decent rate, I think what we now need to do is start building out this area. In particular, let's build this to a point where we are actually producing rocket control units. Let's get at least one up and running. Then we'll have one rocket control unit, we'll have one rocket fuel, we'll have one low density structure, and we'll be able to generate satellites here as well. That will be enough to set up the rocket array and generate space science, even if it's only, it won't be at the full 8K per minute, but that's okay. We can then bring back some of the rocket science to here and maybe push our research, and we'll have the capacity for that research because we've killed modules and solar in the main base, and that should give us enough resource to be able to you know, run some science, which should be good. The first few levels are quite beneficial of both worker robot speed and mining productivity. They're fairly cheap for the first few levels, and yeah, very beneficial. Well, it takes a while to really get the full benefit of mining productivity, but we are relying on a few levels to get to where we need to go. So that's kind of the plan. So with that in mind, I think, well, we probably want to bring online this iron and this copper. You know, we have them sitting here, don't we? Iron and copper, so that's probably enough just to come over here and turn to fill this one out and to turn this one on. So let's run back to base as a starting effort, back to the starter base, and we'll grab the slow jet. What have we got in here? We have got lots of beacons and lots of modules already. That's not bad. Let's just pop up to here and grab a bunch more beacons. What can I fit in here that would be useful? Maybe some requester chests. They're always useful. Maybe boost that up to about 400, that to 300. Actually make that 500. See how that goes. We probably have a few too many of those too. And it wouldn't hurt to have a few of those guys on hand. Do that. We probably can't can't fit those guys. Alright, let's get on with this. Building out our rocket control unit facility. Or at least the one that is the one that we're going to use in the first instance. Where are we actually? We're up there. Okay. I mean, we need to retrofit all of this. The biggest problem, of course, has always been power, but if power is building at a fast enough rate, building this out shouldn't be that big a problem. So we have three, no, we've actually only got two. We've got two of the circuit facilities working. Now that's feeding the modules. What I want to do is to get this facility here working and fully set up for the rocket control unit, which I haven't to this point actually fully built out anywhere. It looks like this one up here is the one that's actually missing. Oh, we didn't have enough of those, did we? Okay, let's get our bots on. Grab a few of those. Let's get rid of some of those. Grab a few of those. Grab a few of those. Okay. Auto trash is doing bad things with our beacons. Just come up here. We obviously need a whole bunch. Oh, we never got those. That's right. I might boost that up to about 100. We're short those guys. We're short beacons. Let's use up everything that we can. Come down here. This is placing a large bunch of productivity modules. Well, by large bunch, it used up a few. And then we ran out of the actual assembly machine 3s. Looks like we could actually do with more assembly machine 3s. Alright. Let's just stop there. Let's do this F4 thing that I was talking about last episode in terms of tracking our bots. Show player robots. There we go. There is one that's not back, but it's not very far away, so that's handy. Can jump out. And once that guy has settled in, turn the robots off. Get rid of F4. And let's tune up with a bunch of other stuff. I think we still need a bunch of beacons. I might turn those off because we probably have sufficient now. Let's try that. Actually, I probably don't need the oil products right now. 200 enough? I might even make that 300. If we're close to enough, I mean, if we're just picking up modules, we can pick them up from the module build. We don't have to keep coming up here. That will be beneficial. So let's run up here, grab some beacons. That's all we can fit, in fact. Just a moment. These little guys that transmit the effect of modules to nearby friendly entities. So you put modules in them and you get extra module boost on your entities. Yeah, you gotta be a reasonable distance through its effect transmission. Let's see if I can find where it is in here. Effect transmission. There. So you've got to have done all of this first of all. Steel, automation, oil, electronics, plastics, advanced electronics 2, modules, and then you get them. Yellow science. So it's quite a long way in. Right, that's all we can fit. Let's head back. How much fuel do we have on board this thing? It does tend to be a little bit greedy, this guy. Not that much. Right, let's head back to our RCU area. Should be this one here. Or the circuits that will feed into our RCUs. Grab this guy out. Oops, I need to turn that thing on F4 off. We don't need the extra UPS for doing that. Let's grab some of those. Probably a few of them. Hide at F4. What are we missing? We're probably missing a few of those guys. Those, oh, we're missing, oh, we've got wooden chests there, that's interesting. I may have to chop down some wood, especially so that we can fill in these wooden chests, although I'm not even sure if we need that pass through. In fact, I suspect we don't, so that's not, oops, that's not as useful as I was thinking. So what are we missing? Is it just wooden chests? And possibly power. No, where are those modules? Oh, they're going over here. Yeah, they're going a little bit too far. I mean, we will want to fill that out sooner or later, but it's not quite yet. You're powered. You're powered. Why are you not powered? Oh, we need the substations down there as well. Oh, it looks like we need a bunch of productivity modules to fill in this side of things, and I think I'm actually out of productivity modules, so we will have to make a quick jaunt over to our module area. Grab a double dosage. Let's grab a few of those as well. Got a little bit more action going on. Some of those are going a little bit too far. So aside from power issues, oh, I don't know why this one is missing a beacon from there. Oh, there's trees in there, that's why. You can take trees out. Let's do that. So it would seem that we are missing a few machines as a consequence of some trees that we never removed. Okay. Oops. So in any event, oh, that's what I did there. I just broke it up and put yeah, so every 4 basically, although if they're aligned, it doesn't work, but every 4, if you break it up, you can put substations in, and that gives the power on this side, but we can sort that out in a bit. For now, let's just pop down to this one. Looks like our 200 is not actually enough machines. By a little bit. Let's grab a few more beacons, maybe a few more of the productivity modules. If we're just finishing off, we can probably do that. most of those are done at this point. So what I might do is jump out, swap the bots over for run speed, redeposit some of these things, and yeah, we'll do the modifications we need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one's fine, and down the back here that should be fine. So we now have this one fully powered up. What are the names down here? All over the place. Okay, that's no good. So if we do this, that gives us the proper naming convention, although that's GC2. These ones should be GC3 and RC3. 3, and this one can be RC3. Okay, that's good. And this one likewise. Except that these need to be 3s. I think. So the train goes back to the right place. And this one. Oops. Here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, there's lots of flashing in here because, well, that one does actually need its wooden boxes. So what I might do is find some forest. There's a bit of forest. I don't really want to find it in the middle of there though. Where's some forest we don't need? I mean, we don't need any of it, so we don't have to look too far to find some forest. Just a moment. And we are back. Okay, so yes, we were looking for some wood, weren't we? Well, middle of the desert is probably not going to have the largest quantity of wood, but we should find some fairly soon. Let's just take the auto trash off for a second. 38 boxes is probably not quite enough. Rock. Here we go. There's a decent bit more. That should do. I think all of my bots are back. Let's run back down and we'll be able to deploy these guys. wooden boxes. Okay. And on this other side, no, I think that's it. So in actual fact, I probably don't need all of these other ones. And we can probably go back to our running armor. Okay, so this top part probably needs to just be left pretty much alone, although we are going to need to extend this special logic over to here so that the the logic is in regard to the plastic, so that we can get the plastic working correctly. I guess it is kind of worth sorting. Oh, I've got no room for all these things now. Sorting all of this out. Don't need that anymore. Did I finish off those? No. So we don't need 200, but if I was to pick up, say, 1 stack, that would definitely be worthwhile. Otherwise, I'm basically after locomotives at this point. We need, in particular, a red and green train. So that would be 40 and 16. There we go. Let's go and get those things. Probably get rid of this for the moment now. That'll also help us get rid of some of the, well, the fuel's not really adequate. It's not an adequate supply of fuel, so that's not really going to get us over the line, but let's come up here. What are we looking for? We're looking for these guys. I probably don't need all of these anymore, so I could probably send a few away. That's just 12. There we go, there's the 16, 10, 20, 30, 40, there's 40 of those. Good. That should do then. Oops. Just make sure there's a little bit more room there. It's kind of tedious being back in the slow bus, but we will need some of these modules once we are deploying the assembly machines, so I guess that's my excuse for doing it this way. And obviously we're going to have to fill out the resource supply as well once we get fully serious about this. This might even end up being kind of 2 parts to get it all done. This has no power right at the moment either. Let's start off with deploying product. Yeah, we need to go through the whole thing. It doesn't seem like an awful lot of assembly machines 3 that were missing. Perhaps it wasn't. Okay. Then up here, let's get these trains sorted. I might just quickly use F4 so I can see how many guys are flying around, player robots. Looks like it's just this one that I actually saw us leaving behind. Give it a bit of a helping hand. Not that one at the moment. Okay. GC, that's for the green circuit train. And it needs to be loaded up. 20 carriages. That looks right. And the red circuit train. And look, the robots are doing all of this for me. I don't have to worry about it. That's fantastic. That doesn't sound healthy. There seems to be some bug where these things can lay down other than in a properly connected up state. I don't quite know how it comes about, but something hasn't quite worked here either. Right here. And unfortunately that means that everything past that point needs to be pulled up again. Okay, let's do that again. Let's just make sure that all of these are okay. There's only 3 of them. They're okay. Okay. And that time we got it right. Good, good. They'll be fueled up and ready to go. I wonder what that's done to the supply over here. 168, it's still not low enough to have caused the fuel train to come through, and in fact we have this situation again, which is kind of less than ideal. I think we need to change the signal that's right there. We'll have to deal with that later. Yeah, basically we need so copper trains, they'll end up being 6 copper trains, which is 1 and a bit per column. So the first copper train needs to be able to access these 2. The second probably needs to be able to access 1, 2, 3. And I think that's a copper train. No, that's an iron train. That would mean this is a copper train. Which one is copper? First one's copper. That must be plastic. This one here is copper. Okay. So for this to access copper, probably make the most sense if it just goes straight across like so. And well, look, has already come through. We need to add a whole lot of signals here, obviously. Something like that. So, wow, I've got copper already. Okay, so iron. It's probably a very similar situation with the iron. We just need to extend this one over. I might rethink this at some point, but for now... Oops. For now, that's as far as my thinking has gone. And that needs some extra signaling. Can't get any in there, unfortunately. Which is probably why I am contemplating sort of pulling it back to this part. But that's not the case just yet. So... should that iron get there? There's only 4 irons, so iron should be able to go... The first one should be able to go to 2, the second one should probably go to 2 and 3. There you go. And... we need to set up this whole setup. Doesn't look like I have the green circuits, or is it copper cable that I actually... it looks like it's copper cable that I need more. There we go, that should sort me out for... It amounts to 3 of these things, decider, and an arithmetic. Oh, I have them anyway. Right. So we basically just want to copy this part. Really sure we did that. Oh, right, these things need to be able to leave as well. Yeah, I think... Damn, that doesn't quite work. I need to move this up by 1, which... or down and then have it sort of come back. But guys, I think these last few parts and getting plastic on is going to have to wait until next time, because we are out of time. So thanks for joining me for this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.